My beloved child, stop scrolling for just a moment and listen carefully. This is not an accident. You did not find this message by chance. There is a reason your eyes are on these words right now. There is a reason your heart felt drawn to stop and listen. For a long time you have been asking questions that seem to have no answers. You have prayed prayers that felt like they disappeared into silence. You have waited through days, weeks, months, and perhaps even years, wondering when things would finally change. And today, I want you to hear me clearly. This is the answer you have been waiting for. I know there were nights when you lay awake, staring into the darkness, trying to understand why life had become so heavy. I know there were moments when you smiled for others while hiding the pain inside your own heart. I know the disappointment you felt when doors closed. I know the tears you wiped away when no one else was looking. I saw it all. Not a single tear escaped my notice. Not a single prayer went unheard. Not a single moment of your struggle was wasted. There were times when you thought I had forgotten you. Times when you wondered if I was listening at all. You watched others move forward while you remained in the same place. You watched opportunities pass by. You watched dreams seem farther away than ever before. And quietly, a question began growing inside your heart. God, where are you? My child, I was closer than you realized. Even when you could not see my hand, I was working. Even when you could not hear my voice, I was speaking. Even when nothing around you appeared to be changing, I was arranging things in ways you could not yet understand. You have looked at the delay and assumed it was rejection. You have looked at the closed doors and assumed they were defeat. You have looked at the waiting and assumed nothing was happening. But what if I told you that the very thing frustrating you was actually protecting you? What if the delay was not punishment? What if the closed door was mercy? What if the season that felt empty was actually preparation? My child, there are things I can see that you cannot. There are dangers I protected you from without your knowledge. There are mistakes I prevented. There are battles I fought for you before they ever reached your door. There are blessings I refused to release too early because I loved you too much to let them become burdens. And now the time has come for you to understand. The waiting has not been meaningless. The silence has not been empty. The delay has not been denial. Today I am going to show you what I have been doing behind the scenes all along. So stay with me. Open your heart. Because what you are about to hear may change the way you see every struggle, every disappointment, and every delay you have ever faced. The answer you have been waiting for is finally here. My beloved child, before I tell you where I am leading you, I need you to understand something that your pain has tried to make you forget. I saw every tear you cried, every single one. The tears that fell in public and the tears that fell in private. The tears you allowed others to see, and the tears you quickly wiped away before anyone noticed. I saw them all. There were nights when you felt completely alone. Nights when the world grew quiet, but your mind would not rest. You replayed conversations. You revisited disappointments. You wondered how much longer you could keep carrying what was weighing on your heart. Others saw your smile. Others saw your strength. But I saw the burden you carried behind closed doors. I saw the exhaustion. I saw the fear. I saw the questions you were too afraid to ask out loud. You wondered why life had become so difficult. You wondered why the answers seemed so far away. You wondered why the breakthrough you prayed for never seemed to arrive. There were moments when you felt forgotten. Moments when you looked around and saw other people moving forward while you remained stuck in the same place. You celebrated their victories while secretly wondering when your own turn would come. You encouraged others while your own heart was growing weary. You kept showing up. You kept believing. You kept praying. Yet sometimes it felt as if heaven was silent. My child, I want you to know that silence is not absence. Just because you could not hear me did not mean I had left you. Just because you could not see me working did not mean I was standing still. I was with you in every painful moment. I was there when disappointment knocked on your door. I was there when people walked away. I was there when opportunities disappeared. I was there when your plans fell apart. And I was there when you cried yourself to sleep asking questions that seemed to have no answers. Many times you thought nobody understood, but I understood. I understood the heartbreak. I understood the loneliness. I understood the frustration of waiting. I understood the weariness of hoping for something that seemed farther away with every passing day. That is why I never stopped watching over you. Even when your faith felt weak, I stayed close. Even when your prayers became shorter because you were tired, I listened. Even when you questioned whether anything would ever change, I continued holding your future in my hands. My child, the world measures pain by what people can see, but I also see the wounds hidden deep within the heart. I saw the disappointment you never talked about. I saw the betrayal you tried to move past. I saw the rejection that made you question your worth. I saw the dream that fell apart. I saw the prayer that seemed unanswered. And through it all, I remained beside you. Not one moment of your suffering escaped my attention. Not one cry was ignored. Not one tear touched the ground without me knowing. Even now, as you listen to these words, I want you to release the lie that says your pain did not matter. It mattered to me. Your struggles mattered to me. Your broken heart mattered to me. And the faith you continue to hold on to, even in your darkest moments, mattered to me more than you realize. You may have felt invisible to others, but you were never invisible to me. You may have felt abandoned, but I never abandoned you. You may have felt forgotten, but I have known every detail of your journey from the very beginning. And because I saw every tear you cried, I also know the blessing that those tears have been preparing you for. The story is not over, my child. What feels like the end of your strength is only the beginning of what I am about to do. My beloved child, I know one of the questions that has lived in your heart for a long time. Why did I have to wait so long? You asked it during the difficult seasons. You asked it when prayers seemed unanswered. You asked it when doors remained closed. You asked it when you watched others receive what you had been asking for. And sometimes, if you are honest, you wondered if I had forgotten about you entirely. But today I want you to see your waiting through my eyes. The wait was never meant to destroy you. The wait was preparing you. You saw delay. I saw development. You saw closed doors. I saw protection. You saw silence. I saw preparation. My child, there are blessings that can only be trusted to a heart that has been refined by time. Had I given you everything when you first asked for it, you might not have been ready to carry it. The very thing you were praying for could have become the very thing that overwhelmed you. That is why I waited. Not because I wanted to hurt you. Not because I ignored your cries. Not because I enjoyed watching you struggle. I waited because I loved you. I waited because I could see what you could not. You see one chapter, I see the entire story. You see today, I see every tomorrow. I knew which relationships would help your future and which ones would damage it. I knew which opportunities would strengthen you and which ones would distract you from your purpose. I knew which doors needed to stay closed because what was behind them was not part of the life I had planned for you. Many times you prayed for something, and when it did not happen, you felt disappointed. But later, if you looked carefully, you realized that what you wanted would not have brought you the peace you imagined. There were people you wanted to keep who were never meant to stay. There were paths you wanted to walk that would have led you away from where I was calling you. There were opportunities you desperately wanted that would have become burdens rather than blessings. So I protected you, even when you misunderstood my protection, even when you called it delay, even when you called it rejection. My child, a farmer does not plant a seed one day and demand fruit the next morning. There is a season beneath the surface that nobody sees. Roots are growing. Strength is developing. Life is forming. And though nothing appears to be happening above the ground, important work is taking place below it. You have been living through one of those hidden seasons. While you thought nothing was changing, I was growing something inside you. I was strengthening your faith. I was teaching you endurance. I was developing wisdom. I was shaping your character. I was teaching you to trust me even when circumstances made no sense. Because the blessing I have prepared for you requires a stronger version of you than the one who first prayed for it. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. You have learned things you could not have learned any other way. You have survived things that once would have broken you. You have developed a faith that is deeper, stronger, and more mature than before. The waiting changed you, and that change was necessary. One day you will look back and realize that my timing was not late. It was perfect. You will understand why certain doors remained closed. You will understand why certain people left. You will understand why certain prayers seemed delayed. And when you see the full picture, you will discover something beautiful. I was never withholding good from you. I was preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. So do not regret the waiting season. Do not resent the delay. Do not mourn the closed doors. Every moment had a purpose. Every delay carried protection. Every season was preparing you for what comes next. And now, my child, I want to show you what I have been doing behind the scenes while you thought nothing was happening. My beloved child, there were many moments when you looked at your life and believed nothing was changing. You prayed, you waited, you hoped. Yet day after day, everything appeared the same. The door remained closed. The answer did not come. The breakthrough seemed distant. And because you could not see movement, you assumed nothing was happening. But my child, some of my greatest works happen where human eyes cannot see. While you were looking at what was not moving, I was moving countless things behind the scenes. While you felt forgotten, I was arranging details that would one day make perfect sense. While you wondered if your prayers had reached heaven, I was already preparing the answer. You must understand this truth. Just because you cannot see me working does not mean I am inactive. I never stopped working on behalf of those I love. There were people I was positioning to cross your path at exactly the right moment. There were conversations taking place that would eventually affect your future. There were opportunities being prepared that were not yet ready for your arrival. There were doors that required the right timing before they could open. Had I moved too soon, the foundation would not have been strong enough. Had I opened the door too early, what waited behind it would not have remained secure. So I continued preparing, patiently, carefully, perfectly. There were also things I was removing. You often focus on what you lost, but rarely do you see what those losses protected you from. Some people left because they could not go where I was taking you. Some opportunities disappeared because they would have distracted you from your purpose. Some plans failed because they were smaller than the future I had prepared. What felt like loss was often protection. What felt like disappointment was often redirection. What felt like rejection was often my mercy. You cried over doors I closed. Yet if I had allowed those doors to remain open, they would have led you away from the blessings I had already planned. My child, I was not merely preparing circumstances around you. I was preparing you. While you waited, I was teaching you lessons that success alone could never teach. I was building strength where weakness once lived. I was creating patience where frustration once ruled. I was growing wisdom through experiences you did not fully understand at the time. Every challenge became a classroom. Every delay became a lesson. Every obstacle became an opportunity for growth. You thought you were being buried beneath pressure. But in reality, I was planting seeds that would later produce fruit beyond your expectations. Even the moments that felt empty were serving a purpose. The quiet seasons taught you how to hear my voice. The difficult seasons taught you how to trust my heart. The uncertain seasons taught you how to walk by faith rather than by sight. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the disappointment, not even the mistakes that you thought had ruined everything. I am able to take broken pieces and create something beautiful from them. I am able to turn setbacks into stepping stones. I am able to transform pain into purpose. And that is exactly what I have been doing. Right now, as you listen to these words, there are still things happening that you cannot see. There are doors moving toward you. There are answers drawing closer. There are opportunities being prepared. There are blessings developing beneath the surface. You may not see them yet, but they are real. Just as a seed grows underground before it ever breaks through the soil, many of the things I have prepared for you have been developing in hidden places. The day will come when what was invisible suddenly becomes visible. You will look back and realize that I was working every moment. You will see that every piece was being placed exactly where it needed to be. And when that day comes, you will understand why I never rushed the process. Because what I am building in your life is too important to be built carelessly. So take courage, my child. The silence was not emptiness. The waiting was not abandonment. And the stillness was not inactivity. I was working the entire time. And now, the signs of what I have been preparing are beginning to appear. My beloved child, after a long season of waiting, one question remains in your heart. How will I know when my breakthrough is near? The answer may surprise you. The signs are already appearing. Not all breakthroughs begin with dramatic miracles. Not all blessings arrive with loud announcements. Many times, the first signs appear quietly, deep within your spirit, long before anything changes around you. One of the first signs is that you can no longer remain comfortable where you are. The things that once satisfied you no longer satisfy you. The places where you once settled now feel too small. The habits you once accepted now begin to trouble your heart. This is not frustration without purpose. It is preparation. I am expanding your vision because I am preparing you for more. Another sign is that I have been changing the way you think. You are beginning to see life differently. You are becoming less focused on temporary things and more focused on what truly matters. The fears that once controlled your decisions are slowly losing their power. The approval of people matters less than it once did. Your heart is becoming stronger. Your faith is becoming deeper. And even though you still have questions, there is a growing sense inside you that something is changing. That feeling is not an accident. It is evidence that I am leading you forward. Another sign is the sudden shifting of relationships. Some people have left your life recently. Others have become distant. At times this has been painful. You wondered why certain connections ended. You wondered why some people no longer understood you. But my child, not every person is assigned to every season of your life. Some people were part of your journey, but not part of your destination. Do not mourn forever what I have removed. Trust that I know what belongs in your future. You may also notice unexpected opportunities beginning to appear. Small doors, small conversations, small moments that seem insignificant at first. Do not overlook them. Many breakthroughs begin with a single opportunity that appears ordinary. Many miracles begin with one simple step of obedience. Pay attention to the doors I place before you. Pay attention to the peace I place in your heart, for I often guide through both. Another sign is that the battles have intensified. This may sound strange, but it is true. When you are close to giving up, the enemy often whispers the loudest. When you are nearest to your breakthrough, doubt often becomes more aggressive. Fear begins to tell you that nothing will ever change. Discouragement tries to convince you to quit. Old wounds try to pull you backward. But understand this, my child. The enemy attacks most fiercely when he senses that his hold is weakening. Do not mistake increased resistance for failure. Sometimes it is evidence that you are closer than you realize. And perhaps the greatest sign of all is this. Despite everything you have been through, you are still here. You are still listening. You are still believing. You are still reaching for me. The fact that your faith survived the storm is proof that I have been sustaining you all along. You may feel tired. You may feel uncertain, but you have not given up. And that matters more than you know. So lift your eyes, my child. Look beyond what you see today. The season is shifting. The pieces are coming together. The doors I have prepared are beginning to open. The answers you have waited for are drawing near. The breakthrough is not a distant dream anymore. It is closer than you think. And in the next season of your life, you will begin to see with your own eyes what I have been preparing for you all along. My beloved child, before we continue, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on what you have heard so far. If these words are touching your heart, it is not by accident. Perhaps you recognize the waiting. Perhaps you recognize the tears. Perhaps you recognize the season of uncertainty that we have been talking about. And if you truly believe that I have been working behind the scenes, even when you could not see it, I want you to make a simple declaration of faith. Type, God is preparing me. Write those words in the comments as a reminder to yourself that your story is not over and your breakthrough is closer than it appears. And if this message is encouraging you today, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you can continue receiving daily messages of faith, hope, and encouragement. Now stay with me, because what I am about to reveal next may help you understand why the battles you've faced were never random. They were connected to something far greater than you realize. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand about the battles you have faced. Many times, you looked at the attacks against your life and assumed they were proof that something was wrong with you. You looked at the setbacks, the disappointments, the resistance, the unexpected struggles, and you wondered why everything seemed so difficult. But what if I told you that the enemy was not attacking you because you were weak? What if he was attacking you because he saw something valuable? The enemy does not waste his energy on what has no purpose. He targets what threatens his plans. He resists what carries potential. He fights hardest against those who are moving toward the destiny I have prepared for them. That is why some of your greatest battles came right before some of your greatest moments of growth. The enemy saw your future before you did. He saw the strength I was building inside you. He saw the faith developing through your struggles. He saw the testimony that would one day come from your pain, and he feared it. That is why discouragement came so often. That is why doubt tried to fill your mind. That is why fear whispered that nothing would ever change. The enemy wanted you to quit before you discovered what I had prepared. He wanted you to give up during the waiting season. He wanted you to walk away from the very place where your breakthrough was growing. But look at you now. You are still here. You survived the battles that were supposed to break you. You survived the disappointments that were supposed to destroy your faith. You survived the seasons that convinced you that you could not continue. And because you survived, you are beginning to see something important. The attacks were never proof that I abandoned you. They were proof that your future carried significance. Every time you chose faith over fear, you grew stronger. Every time you kept praying when answers seemed delayed, your roots grew deeper. Every time you trusted me despite uncertainty, your spirit matured. The enemy wanted to stop your progress. Instead, the struggle became part of your preparation. My child, there are people who will one day be encouraged because of what you survived. There are lives that will be touched because you refused to quit. There are hearts that will find hope because your story proves that difficult seasons do not last forever. The enemy feared the person you were becoming. He feared the wisdom that would come from your trials. He feared the faith that would emerge from your waiting. He feared the influence your testimony would carry. But what he feared most was not your strength. It was my hand upon your life. Because when I have called someone, no obstacle can permanently stop my purpose. When I open a door, no enemy can keep it closed. When I begin a good work, no attack can cancel it. So stop seeing every battle as evidence of defeat. Some battles are evidence that you are moving in the right direction. Some resistance appears because you are getting closer to what the enemy hoped you would never reach. You are not fighting for victory, my child. You are walking from victory. I have been with you through every storm. I have protected you through every attack. And what the enemy intended for harm, I am turning into strength. The attacks revealed something important. You carry more purpose than you realize. And the season ahead will begin to show you exactly why the enemy fought so hard to stop you. My beloved child, one of the greatest mistakes you can make is believing that all of your waiting produced nothing. The truth is that while you were waiting for circumstances to change, I was changing you. And today, I want you to see something that you may have overlooked. You are not the same person anymore. Think about who you were when this journey first began. Think about the fears you carried. Think about the doubts that controlled your thoughts. Think about the obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome. Back then, there were challenges that would have completely discouraged you. There were disappointments that would have convinced you to quit. There were storms that would have shaken your faith. But look at what you have survived. Look at how far I have brought you. You may not feel stronger because you lived through the process one day at a time. Growth often feels invisible while it is happening. Yet if you pause and look back, you will see evidence of it everywhere. You have endured seasons you once thought would destroy you. You have carried burdens you never imagined you could bear. You have faced heartbreaks, setbacks, and uncertainties that would have broken an earlier version of yourself. But they did not break you. Instead, they shaped you. The person who stands here today possesses a strength that did not exist before. Not because life became easier, but because I taught you how to keep walking even when life was difficult. You have learned how to trust me when answers were delayed. You have learned how to pray when emotions told you to give up. You have learned how to stand when everything around you seemed unstable. Those lessons are valuable, my child. They are part of the treasure hidden inside your journey. Many people want the blessing. Few are willing to go through the process that prepares them to carry it. But you have gone through that process. And although it was painful at times, it produced something beautiful within you. You now possess wisdom that can only come through experience. You now have compassion for people who are hurting because you understand what pain feels like. You now have patience because you know what it means to wait. You now have deeper faith because you have seen me sustain you through difficult seasons. The trials changed you. The waiting changed you. The journey changed you. And that change was necessary. My child, I am not bringing the blessing to the same person who first prayed for it. I am bringing it to the person you have become through the process. The version of you that stands before me now is stronger, wiser, more humble, more compassionate, more dependent on me, and far more prepared for what comes next. Do not underestimate what I've done inside your heart. The world often celebrates outward success, but I care deeply about inward transformation. Before I changed your circumstances, I worked on your character. Before I opened the door, I strengthened the person who would walk through it. Before I released the blessing, I prepared the vessel that would carry it. That is why your story is different now. You are no longer the person who once doubted whether you could survive. You are living proof that my grace has carried you this far. And because I have transformed you through every challenge, you are now ready for things that once would have overwhelmed you. So, stop looking at yourself through the lens of your past. Stop measuring yourself by old failures. Stop believing the lie that nothing has changed. Much has changed. You have changed. And that transformation is one of the clearest signs that a new season is approaching. The person who entered the storm is not the same person who is coming out of it. And what I am about to place in your hands will reveal just how much you have grown. My beloved child, after everything you have endured, I want you to hear these words clearly. The season of preparation is giving way to a season of opportunity. I am opening a door no one can shut. For a long time, it felt as though every door you approached remained closed. You knocked, but there was no answer. You hoped, but nothing changed. You prayed, but the path ahead seemed blocked. You wondered if you were moving in the wrong direction. You wondered if your dreams were too big. You wondered if your time would ever come. But my child, closed doors do not always mean rejection. Sometimes they mean redirection. Sometimes they mean protection. And sometimes they simply mean that the appointed time has not yet arrived. Now the time is changing. The same God who closed doors for your protection is opening doors for your purpose. The opportunities I am bringing into your life will not depend solely on your strength, your connections, or your qualifications. They will be evidence of my favor. You will begin to see situations shift in ways you could not have arranged yourself. Conversations will happen at the right time. People will appear with unexpected encouragement. Opportunities that once seemed impossible will suddenly become available. And when these things happen, remember this. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is my hand at work. Do not be afraid when the door opens. Many people pray for change, but when change arrives, fear tries to convince them to stay where they are. Do not let fear keep you trapped in yesterday. Do not let old disappointments convince you that every new opportunity will end the same way. The past is not your future. The failures of yesterday do not define what I can do tomorrow. You have been prepared for this season more than you realize. Every lesson you learned, every tear you cried, every battle you survived, every delay you endured, all of it has been building toward this moment. That is why I need you to remain attentive. Not every open door will arrive with great fanfare. Some will appear quietly. Some will begin as small opportunities. Some will look insignificant at first. But do not despise small beginnings. Many of my greatest blessings begin with a single step of obedience. When I guide you, move forward in faith. When I give you peace, trust it. When I place an opportunity before you, do not immediately assume you are unworthy. My calling over your life has never depended on perfection. It has always depended on my purpose. I am not looking for flawless people. I am looking for willing hearts. And your willingness to keep trusting me through difficult seasons has prepared you for what comes next. My child, there are blessings ahead that will remind you why you had to wait. There are answers ahead that will explain the delays. There are victories ahead that will make sense of the battles. One day you will look back and realize that every closed door served a purpose. Because if those doors had opened, you might have missed the one I truly prepared for you. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, and keep your eyes on me. The door is opening. The season is shifting. And what I am bringing into your life is something no person, no circumstance, and no obstacle can permanently take away. For when I open a door, no one can shut it. My beloved child, as the door begins to open and the season begins to change, there is one final obstacle that will try to stand in your way. Fear. Fear has followed many people to the edge of their breakthrough and convinced them to turn back. Fear whispers that you are not ready. Fear tells you that you will fail. Fear reminds you of old disappointments and tries to convince you that the future will look exactly like the past. But my child, fear is a liar. It speaks loudly because it knows its time is short. It knows that if you step forward in faith, it will lose its power over you. That is why you must be careful in this season. Do not allow fear to steal what I have spent so much time preparing for you. Remember the battles you have already survived. Remember the storms that did not destroy you. Remember the prayers I have already answered. Remember the times when you thought there was no way forward, yet somehow I made a way. The same God who carried you through those seasons is carrying you through this one. You are not walking into the future alone. I am walking beside you. Many times fear disguises itself as wisdom. It tells you to wait a little longer. It tells you to play it safe. It tells you to stay where you are because at least it feels familiar. But there is a difference between wisdom and fear. Wisdom listens to my voice. Fear listens to worst-case scenarios. Wisdom moves when I say move. Fear stays frozen even when the door is open. My child, do not let yesterday's pain make today's opportunity look dangerous. The disappointments of your past were chapters in your story. They were never meant to become your identity. Do not allow old wounds to make decisions for your future. The people who hurt you are not controlling your next season. The failures you experienced are not writing your next chapter. The mistakes you made are not stronger than my grace. I have already redeemed things that you thought were lost forever. Now I am asking you to trust me again. Trust me when the path is not fully visible. Trust me when the opportunity feels larger than your comfort zone. Trust me when your heart is tempted to retreat into safety, because faith has always required movement. The greatest moments in your journey happened when you trusted me beyond what you could see. And this moment is no different. The enemy would love for you to hesitate. He would love for you to second-guess every step. He would love for you to focus on every possible problem instead of my promises. But I am calling you to lift your eyes higher. Focus on my faithfulness, not your fears. Focus on my promises, not your problems. Focus on my presence, not your uncertainty. You have waited too long, grown too much, and overcome too many obstacles to let fear take control now. This is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to doubt. This is not the time to look back. This is the time to trust. This is the time to move. This is the time to believe that what I have prepared for you is greater than anything you are leaving behind. So stand tall, my child. Take a deep breath, strengthen your heart, and step forward in faith. Do not let fear steal this moment, because the breakthrough you have been praying for is standing closer than you think, waiting for you to walk through the door I have opened before you. My beloved child, after everything I have shown you, after every lesson, every delay, every battle, and every promise, you now stand at a crossroads. This is your moment to decide. For a long time, the decision was not yours to make. You were in a season of preparation. You were growing. You were healing. You were learning to trust me in ways you never had before. But now a new season is beginning, and with it comes a choice. Will you continue looking backward, or will you step forward in faith? Will you allow fear to keep telling the story of your future, or will you trust the one who already knows the ending? Will you remain focused on what went wrong, or will you begin expecting what can go right? My child, every breakthrough requires a decision. Before the sea parted, someone had to step toward it. Before the walls fell, someone had to keep walking. Before the miracle appeared, someone had to choose faith over doubt. And now that choice stands before you. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am not asking you to understand every detail of what lies ahead. I am simply asking you to trust me. Trust me enough to take the next step. Trust me enough to release the pain of the past. Trust me enough to believe that your best days are not behind you. Too many people spend their lives standing in front of open doors because they are waiting for certainty. But certainty is not what builds faith. Faith grows when you move forward while still holding my hand. You have spent enough time questioning whether you are ready. You have spent enough time doubting your worth. You have spent enough time listening to voices that tell you what cannot happen. Now it is time to listen to my voice. My voice says, you are loved. My voice says you are chosen. My voice says you are stronger than you realize. My voice says the waiting season has accomplished its purpose. And my voice says, it is time to move forward. Do not let this moment pass by. Do not return to old fears. Do not return to old limitations. Do not return to the version of yourself that believed nothing would ever change. That chapter is ending. A new chapter is beginning. The future I have been preparing is not waiting behind you. It is waiting in front of you. So lift your head. Take a step of faith. Believe again. Hope again. Dream again. Trust again. Because the season of preparation is giving way to the season of fulfillment. The waiting is over. The door is open. The path is ready. And now, my child, the decision is yours. Will you stay where you are? Or will you walk into everything I have prepared for you? Choose faith. Choose courage. Choose to move forward with me. For this is your moment to decide. My beloved child, as this message comes to a close, I want you to hold one truth deep within your heart. One day, you will understand why you had to wait. Today, there may still be questions you cannot answer. There may still be moments you do not fully understand. You may still wonder why certain doors closed, why certain people left, and why some prayers seemed delayed for so long. But one day, the picture will become clear. One day, you will look back and see that I was guiding you even when you thought you were lost. You will see that the delays protected you. You will see that the closed doors preserved you. You will see that the waiting strengthened you. The very seasons that caused you the most confusion will become the seasons that make the most sense. You will realize that nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the disappointments, not the lonely nights, not the battles, not even the mistakes that you thought had ruined everything. I have been weaving every part of your story together for a purpose greater than you can currently see. And when you finally look back from the place I am leading you, you will understand that my timing was never working against you. It was working for you. You will see that I was not withholding blessings. I was preparing blessings. You will see that I was not abandoning you. I was carrying you. You will see that while you were waiting for the miracle, I was preparing both the miracle and the person who would receive it. So do not lose heart now. Do not give up in the final stretch of the journey. Keep trusting, keep believing, keep walking forward. The story is not ending here. In many ways, it is only beginning. The same hand that has carried you through every trial will carry you into every promise. And one day, with gratitude in your heart and tears of joy in your eyes, you will look back at this season and say, now I understand why I had to wait. And you will know that I was faithful through it all. Heavenly Father, thank you for every person listening to this message today. Thank you for loving them through every season, every struggle, every delay, and every battle they have faced. Lord, I pray for the one who feels tired from waiting. Remind them that you have not forgotten them. Fill their heart with renewed hope and strengthen their faith to trust your timing. Father, heal every wounded heart. Bring peace where there has been anxiety, comfort where there has been pain, and strength where there has been weakness. Help them release every fear, every doubt, and every burden they have been carrying for too long. Lord, open their eyes to see your hand at work in their life. Give them courage to walk through the doors you are opening and wisdom to follow the path you have prepared for them. Protect them from discouragement and surround them with your presence. Let them experience your peace, your favor, and your guidance in the days ahead. Thank you for turning delays into blessings, trials into testimonies, and struggles into strength. We trust that your plans are good, your timing is perfect, and your promises never fail. We place our future into your hands today and choose to walk forward by faith. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Before you leave, I want you to make a declaration of faith. If you believe that God has been working behind the scenes, even during the seasons when you could not see it, type these words in the comments. I trust God's timing. Let that declaration be a reminder that your waiting was not wasted, Your prayers were not ignored, and your breakthrough is closer than you think. And if this message encouraged your heart today, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every day, we share messages of faith, hope, and encouragement to help you stay connected to God's promises and walk confidently in His purpose for your life. Most importantly, do not leave this message behind when the video ends. Carry it with you. Remember that God sees you, God loves you, God is guiding you, and God is still writing your story. No matter what you face this week, choose faith over fear, hope over doubt, and trust over worry. Your season is changing. Your door is opening. Your breakthrough is coming. May God bless you, strengthen you, and fill your heart with peace. And remember, the delay was not denial. God was preparing something greater.